What if the greatest power in this noisy, chaotic world isn't found in being the loudest voice, but in becoming the quietest? In our relentless pursuit of more, we have forgotten the profound strength that lies not in action, but in stillness. This is where your best self is waiting. Unlock your best self through Stillness, compiled and published by Stoic Dominion. Lesson 1. The power hidden in silence. Imagine a grand concert hall. Before the first note is played, there is a moment of profound, electric silence. It is not an empty silence. It is a space filled with immense potential, a quiet power that holds the entire audience in rapt attention. All the energy of the coming symphony is contained within that stillness. Now, contrast this with the relentless, chaotic noise of a crowded marketplace, where 1,000 voices shout over one another, creating a wall of sound where nothing of substance can truly be heard. This is the inner conflict of modern life. We live in the noisy marketplace, both externally and internally. Our minds are filled with a constant chatter of anxieties, to-do lists, and digital notifications. We have come to fear silence, mistaking it for boredom or emptiness. We fill every spare moment with podcasts, music, or scrolling, desperately trying to outrun the quiet. The problem is that in this constant noise, we lose ourselves. We cannot hear our own inner wisdom. We cannot think clearly, and we broadcast an energy of frantic, scattered unease. We believe power lies in making more noise, when in fact, we are just contributing to a chaos that weakens our spirit. The transformative solution is to rediscover the power hidden in silence. This is the practice of intentionally creating and entering spaces of quiet, both in your environment and in your mind, to tap into a deeper source of strength. The core idea, revered by Stoic philosophers and sages throughout history, is that silence is not an absence, but a presence. It is the canvas upon which clear thought can be painted, the soil from which true creativity grows, and the sanctuary where your soul can recover its strength. In silence, you are not running from the world. You are grounding yourself in a power that transcends it. By learning to be comfortable in the quiet, you stop reacting to the endless noise of life and start responding from a place of calm, centered authority. This silent composure is a rare and magnetic quality, a source of immense personal power. To begin harnessing this power, you must treat silence as a deliberate practice. The first actionable step is to schedule a silent appointment with yourself each day. This may be only 5 minutes. Find a quiet place, put away all devices, and simply sit. Do not try to meditate or do anything. Your only task is to be present in the silence and allow the noise of your mind to slowly settle. The second step is to practice silent observation. Go for a walk without headphones. Sit in a park or a cafe and just watch the world go by without commentary or judgment. This trains your mind to receive reality without needing to add to its noise. The third step is to embrace the pause in conversation. Instead of rushing to fill a moment of silence, allow it to exist. You will find that these pauses often lead to more thoughtful and meaningful communication. The benefits of embracing silence are profound. Your baseline level of stress and anxiety will decrease as you disconnect from the constant overstimulation of modern life. Your ability to think clearly and creatively will improve dramatically as you give your mind the space it needs to make new connections. You will become more present and attuned to yourself and others. You will begin to radiate a calm, confident energy, the quiet authority of the conductor who commands the entire orchestra from a place of perfect stillness. Your practice is to find just 1 minute of pure silence today. Close your door, turn everything off, and simply be. In that single minute of quiet, you will begin to feel the hidden power that has been waiting for you. Silence creates the space for power to emerge. But to truly harness that power, we must learn to direct our minds within that space. This leads to the art of focus. Next, we will explore how to find unshakable focus in the present moment. If you are ready to discover your own inner power, please like this video and subscribe to Stoic Dominion. Lesson 2. Finding focus in the present moment. Picture an archer preparing to shoot an arrow at a distant target. His power does not come from the strength of his bow alone, but from the intensity of his focus. If his gaze wanders, if his mind is thinking about a previous shot or worrying about a future one, his arrow will fly untrue. All of his strength, skill, and potential are wasted if they are not concentrated into a single, unwavering point of focus in the present moment. His victory is decided in this sliver of time. This is the inner conflict we face every second of our lives. We possess immense potential, but our minds are fractured and scattered. We are like an archer trying to aim at 100 targets at once. While we are physically performing one task, our mind is ruminating on a past mistake, rehearsing a future conversation, or being pulled away by a dozen digital distractions. This state of constant partial attention is the source of immense frustration. It leads to mediocre work, shallow relationships, and a persistent feeling of being overwhelmed and ineffective. We live in a state of mental chaos, our power diluted because we are never fully present where we are. The transformative solution is the practice of finding focus in the present moment. This is the discipline of gathering all the scattered fragments of your attention and uniting them into a single, powerful beam directed at the here and now. The core principle, a cornerstone of Stoic mindfulness, prosoke, is that the present moment is the only point in time where you have any real power. The past is a collection of memories, and the future is a web of possibilities. But your agency, your ability to act and create, exists only in this instant. To be unfocused is to abdicate your power. By training your mind to consistently return to the present, you are not just improving your concentration, you are learning to fully inhabit your life and wield your full potential. This practice transforms the mind from a scattered liability into a focused, powerful asset. To develop this laser-like focus, you must treat your attention like a muscle that needs to be trained. The first actionable step is to practice monotasking. Choose one task, set a timer for 20 minutes, and commit to doing only that one thing. When your mind wanders, and it will, your exercise is to gently and patiently guide it back to the task, just as you would lift a weight again. Each return is a repetition that strengthens the muscle. The second step is to use your breath as an anchor. The breath is always happening in the present moment. Whenever you feel your mind scattering, simply bring your awareness to the physical sensation of one full inhalation and one full exhalation. This is your immediate anchor back to the now. The third step is to eliminate distractions before you begin a task. Put your phone in another room. Close unnecessary tabs on your computer. Create an environment that makes focus the path of least resistance. The benefits of cultivating this deep focus are extraordinary. You will enter a state of flow, where work feels effortless and time seems to disappear. The quality and quantity of your output will increase dramatically. Your stress levels will plummet, as most anxiety lives in catastrophic thoughts about the future. Most importantly, you will experience a new richness in your life. Food will taste better, conversations will be deeper, and the world will appear more vibrant because you will finally be fully present to experience it. You become the master archer, able to channel all your power into a single, perfect shot. Your practice for today is to choose one task you would normally do while distracted, like eating a meal or brushing your teeth, and do it with your complete, undivided attention. Finding focus allows us to aim our power. But what happens when that focus reveals turbulent emotions within us? To achieve true stillness, we must learn to see our feelings with clarity. Next, we will explore how stillness can untangle our emotions. To support this channel, please share your own struggles with focus in the comments below. Lesson 3. Emotional clarity through inner stillness. Imagine being lost at sea in a small boat during a violent squall. The waves of fear, anger, and panic are crashing over the sides, tossing you about relentlessly. In this chaos, you cannot read your compass, you cannot see the stars, and you cannot think clearly enough to navigate. You are a prisoner of the storm. Now imagine finding a hidden, deep-sea cove where the water is perfectly still, even as the storm rages just outside its entrance. In this sanctuary of stillness, the water becomes a clear mirror. You can see your own reflection. You can think, and you can calmly plot your course to safety. The inner conflict for most of us is that we live our entire emotional lives in the open squall. When a strong emotion arises, we are immediately swept up in it. We become the anger, we become the fear, we become the sadness. We lose all perspective, all ability to think rationally, because we are completely identified with the turbulent waves of our feelings. We try to fight the storm, which only exhausts us, or we are thrown about by it, leading us to make reactive decisions that we almost always regret. The transformative solution is to build your own inner cove, to find emotional clarity through inner stillness. This is the practice of creating a space of quiet observation within your mind, a place you can retreat to when the emotional weather turns rough. The core Stoic idea is that emotions themselves are not you. They are like the weather, powerful, temporary phenomena that pass through your awareness. You are not the storm. You are the vast, unchangeable ocean through which the storm passes. By cultivating a mind that can be still, you learn to observe your emotions from a safe distance instead of being drowned by them. You can watch the wave of anger rise, crest, and fall without letting it capsize your boat. This stillness allows you to feel your emotions fully without being controlled by them, giving you the clarity to respond with wisdom instead of raw instinct. To build this inner sanctuary, you must practice the art of non-identification. The first actionable step is to use a technique of mindful labeling. When a strong emotion like anxiety arises, instead of saying, "I am anxious," say to yourself, "I notice the feeling of anxiety is present within me." This subtle shift in language creates a critical separation between you, the observer, and the emotion, the observed event. The second step is to get curious about the physical sensation of the emotion. Where do you feel it in your body? A tightness in your chest, a heat in your face. By focusing on the raw physical data, you shift from being lost in the story of the emotion to being a neutral observer of its energy. The third step is to simply breathe into that physical sensation without trying to change it. This communicates to your nervous system that the feeling is not a threat and can be allowed to pass on its own, like a storm cloud moving across the sky. The benefits of finding this emotional clarity are life-changing. You will stop being a slave to your moods. You will be able to handle difficult conversations and high-pressure situations with a level of grace and composure you never thought possible. Your relationships will improve because you will no longer be making decisions from a place of emotional reactivity. You develop what is known as emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and manage your own inner world. You become the calm navigator in the still cove, capable of weathering any storm because you know where to find your peace. Your practice is to notice one strong emotion today. Instead of being swept away by it, simply pause, label it in your mind, and take 3 deep breaths. That is the first step in finding your cove. Once we can achieve clarity on our own emotions, we must then apply that same stillness to the noise coming from the outside world. To find true peace, we must learn to be unmoved by the judgments of others. Next, we will learn how to detach from external noise. Please like and subscribe if you are ready to become the master of your emotional world. Lesson 4. Detaching from noise and judgment. Imagine a master sculptor creating a masterpiece in a crowded public square. All around him, a noisy crowd has gathered. Some people are shouting praise, telling him he is a genius. Others are jeering, calling him a fraud and criticizing his every move. The sculptor, however, remains completely absorbed in his work. He hears the noise, but he is not guided by it. His hands are not made unsteady by the criticism, nor is his vision clouded by the praise. His entire focus is on the stone in front of him and the vision within his own mind. His sense of success comes from the integrity of his own work, not from the verdict of the crowd. This is the inner conflict we all face in a world saturated with the opinions of others. We are the sculptor, trying to create a life of value, but we are deeply affected by the noise of the crowd, the praise and criticism we receive from family, friends, and strangers on social media. We allow the jeers to fill us with self-doubt and the cheers to inflate us with a fragile ego. Our emotional state and sense of self-worth become dependent on the fickle, contradictory whims of the crowd, and we lose touch with our own inner vision. The transformative solution is the practice of detaching from noise and judgment. This is the art of becoming the Stoic sculptor, learning to value your own clear judgment above the chaotic noise of external opinion. The core principle is the Stoic distinction between what is in our control and what is not. The opinions, praise, and criticism of others are fundamentally outside of our control. They are the weather. To base your inner peace on something so unstable is to guarantee a life of turmoil. The Stoics taught that the only true measure of our worth is our own character, our commitment to living virtuously. Your job is not to manage the crowd's perception, but to execute your work, your life, with integrity. By detaching from the outcome of public opinion, you are freed to act with courage and authenticity. To cultivate this powerful detachment, you must build an unshakable internal foundation. The first actionable step is to define your own internal scorecard. What are your standards for a day well lived? For a job well done? Write them down. Your goal is to get a good score on your card, not on the imaginary card of the audience. The second step is to practice gratitude for feedback, but indifference to praise. When someone offers constructive criticism, see it as useful data to help you sculpt better, and be grateful. When someone offers empty praise, accept it politely, but let it pass through you like the wind without letting it become the source of your confidence. The third step is to depersonalize attacks. When faced with unfair criticism or insults, remind yourself that the other person's judgment is a reflection of their inner world, their biases, and their pain, not an objective truth about you. It is their noise, not your reality. The benefits of this detachment are profound. You will experience a new level of freedom and courage. The fear of being judged, which paralyzes so many, will lose its hold on you. You will be able to take risks, speak your truth, and pursue your authentic path without constantly looking over your shoulder for approval. Your self-esteem will become solid and stable because it will be built on the bedrock of your own character, not the shifting sands of public opinion. You become the master sculptor, serene and focused, creating a life of beauty and strength in the midst of any crowd. Your practice is to observe one piece of praise or criticism you receive today. Notice it, acknowledge it as external information, and then deliberately return your focus to your own internal standards. Detaching from external noise is essential. But this kind of stillness and detachment doesn't happen by accident. It must be intentionally cultivated through a consistent regimen. Next, we will explore the daily practices that build a foundation of unshakable calm. Comment below with one form of noise you are ready to detach from. Lesson 5. Cultivating daily practices of calm. Imagine trying to build a strong, healthy body by going to the gym for one intense 10-hour session once a year. The effort would be painful, ineffective, and unsustainable. It might even cause injury. Everyone understands that physical strength is the result of small, consistent, daily efforts, a few exercises done with discipline, day after day. The body adapts to this regular, manageable stress and grows stronger over time. The inner conflict we face is that we treat our minds the opposite way. We expect to achieve inner peace or mental toughness through intense, sporadic efforts. We wait until we are in a full-blown crisis, and then we try to meditate for an hour or read an entire philosophy book, hoping for a quick fix. This is like trying to start a fitness regimen during a marathon. It doesn't work. We then become frustrated and conclude that these practices are ineffective, when the real problem is our inconsistent approach. We fail to recognize that a calm and resilient mind, like a strong body, is a product of daily training. The transformative solution is to commit to cultivating daily practices of calm. This is the understanding that inner peace is not an event, but a habit. It is the result of small, repeated actions that, over time, rewire your brain and nervous system for tranquility and resilience. The core Stoic idea here is ascesis, or spiritual exercise. The ancient philosophers knew that philosophy was not just something to be read, but something to be done. They had a regimen of daily practices, meditation, journaling, reflection, designed to train the soul just as an athlete trains the body. These small daily deposits into your peace of mind account are what allow you to make a large withdrawal when a crisis hits. You build the muscle of calm in times of peace so that it is strong enough to support you in times of turmoil. To begin building your own practice, start incredibly small and be ruthlessly consistent. The first actionable step is to create a simple stillness ritual. This could be a 5-minute practice you do at the same time every day. For example, your morning ritual could be to sit with a cup of tea before checking your phone and spend 2 minutes on mindful breathing, followed by 2 minutes of reading a single Stoic passage and 1 minute of setting a calm intention for the day. The second step is to incorporate micro stillness breaks into your workday. Set a timer to go off once every hour. When it does, step away from your screen, stretch, and take 3 conscious breaths. This breaks the cycle of accumulating stress and resets your nervous system. The third step is to practice an evening review. Before bed, take a few minutes to write down one thing that challenged your peace that day and how you could handle it with more stillness next time. This is your mental cool down and learning session. By committing to these small, daily practices, you are engaging in the most effective form of personal transformation. You will lower your chronic stress levels and increase your overall sense of well-being. Your ability to handle unexpected challenges will improve dramatically because your mind will be trained and ready. You will slowly but surely build a baseline of inner calm that becomes your new default state. You are no longer waiting for peace to find you. You are actively building it every single day. You become the disciplined athlete of the mind, consistently training for the marathon of life. Your practice is to choose just one of these small habits, the morning ritual, the micro breaks, or the evening review, and commit to doing it for the next 7 days without fail. Consistency is more important than intensity. Daily practice is how we lay the foundation of our inner fortress. But what exactly is that fortress made of? True strength is not just about feeling calm, it's about what that calm allows us to build. Next, we explore how mental quiet is the source of all true strength. Please subscribe to Stoic Dominion to make this wisdom a part of your daily life. Lesson 6. Building strength from mental quiet. Picture a great general preparing for a decisive battle. Does he spend the night before in the chaos of the camp, listening to the panicked rumors of his soldiers and reacting to every piece of battlefield noise? No. The wise general retreats to the quiet solitude of his tent. There, surrounded by silence, he unrolls his maps, reviews his strategy, and connects with his core purpose. It is in the quiet that he finds the clarity to see the whole battlefield. It is in the quiet that he musters his courage and reinforces his resolve. His strength for the next day's battle is forged not in the noise, but in the stillness of the night before. This is the inner conflict we often ignore. We believe that strength is built in the heat of action, in the midst of the struggle. While action is where strength is tested, it is not where it is built. We run from one task to the next, one crisis to another, without ever retreating to our own tent. We live in a state of perpetual reaction, never giving ourselves the mental quiet necessary to reflect, strategize, and build the deep reserves of inner strength we need. We then wonder why we feel so depleted and unprepared when the next battle arrives. The transformative solution is to understand that all true strength is built from mental quiet. This is the practice of intentionally using periods of stillness to forge the character and resilience you need to succeed in the noisy world of action. The core Stoic principle is that a wise life requires both action and reflection. Action without reflection is reckless. Reflection without action is useless. Stillness is the sacred space where we turn experience into wisdom. It is where we process our failures, learn our lessons, clarify our values, and build the unshakable mental models that will guide our future actions. Mental quiet is not a passive retreat from life. It is the active, strategic process of sharpening your sword, studying your maps, and fortifying your mind before you return to the fray. To build strength from quiet, you must make reflection a non-negotiable part of your life. The first actionable step is to schedule a weekly strategy session with yourself. This is a 30-minute appointment where you review the past week. What were your wins? Where did you fall short of your own standards? What are the key lessons? What is your primary objective for the week ahead? This is your time to be the general in his tent. The second step is to use quiet time to practice negative visualization, a key Stoic exercise. Spend a few minutes in stillness contemplating potential future challenges. Imagine how you would handle them with wisdom and courage. This is a mental rehearsal that builds resilience before you ever face the actual event. The third step is to engage in deep reading. Reading the works of great thinkers, especially in silence, allows you to have a conversation with the wisest minds in history. This quiet contemplation builds your mental fortitude and broadens your perspective. The benefits of this practice are immense. You will stop living a purely reactive life and become a masterful strategist of your own existence. Your actions will become more purposeful and effective because they will be born from clear-headed reflection, not impulsive reaction. You will develop a deep reservoir of inner strength and resilience, a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are prepared. You are no longer just a soldier in the battle of life. You are the wise general, drawing immense power from the strategic sanctuary of your own quiet mind. Your practice for this week is to schedule one 30-minute strategy session. Protect that time fiercely. Use it to reflect on your path and plan your next move with the clarity that only comes from quiet. When we have mastered the art of building strength from stillness, we are ready for the final integration. The goal is not just to use stillness as a tool, but to embody it in our very being. In our final lesson, we will explore how to live as your stillest, strongest self. We appreciate you staying with us on this journey. Lesson 7. Living as your stillest self. Imagine a master watchmaker at his workbench. His every movement is precise, economical, and calm. He works with tiny, intricate components, where a single tremor or a moment of frustration would ruin everything. His stillness is not a separate practice he does. It is the very essence of his craft. His external precision is a direct reflection of his internal calm. He is not just using stillness, he is stillness in action. This is the final stage of our journey, and it presents our ultimate inner conflict. The gap between practicing stillness and being still. We may have learned to find quiet moments, to focus, and to reflect. But we still see our still self as a separate mode we switch on and off. We are calm during our morning meditation, but reactive in traffic an hour later. We are present during our walk in the park, but scattered and anxious during a difficult meeting. We have not yet integrated our practice into a unified state of being. We are still a collection of parts, not a seamless whole. The final transformative solution is to commit to living as your stillest self. This is the point where the practice becomes your personality, where the techniques dissolve into your natural way of being. It is the integration of all the previous lessons into a coherent and authentic expression of your character. The core idea is that the ultimate goal of Stoic practice is not just to feel better, but to be better. It is to so thoroughly internalize the principles of wisdom, calm, and resilience that they become your default operating system. Your stillness is no longer a sanctuary you retreat to. It is the very atmosphere you carry with you into every situation. You become the eye of the storm, the deep lake, the wise general, and the master watchmaker, all at once. Your actions, words, and presence all flow from a deep, unshakable center of inner peace. This final stage is a lifelong process of embodiment. The first actionable step is to focus on your transitional moments. These are the moments between activities. The minute after you hang up a stressful call, the walk from your car to your front door after work. Use these small gaps to consciously reconnect with your center, to take one still breath and reset, rather than carrying the chaotic energy of one activity into the next. The second step is to practice stillness in motion. Choose a physical activity, like walking or working out, and try to perform it with the calm precision of the watchmaker. Pay attention to the economy and grace of your movement. Let your inner calm dictate your outer actions. The third step is a radical acceptance of the present. In every moment, especially the difficult ones, gently release your mental resistance to what is happening. Surrender your argument with reality. This acceptance is the highest form of stillness. The benefit of this ultimate integration is what the ancient philosophers called eudaimonia, a state of human flourishing, a life well lived. You will move through the world with a quiet confidence and a graceful power that is profoundly effective and deeply peaceful. You will no longer be thrown off balance by life's chaos, because your balance will come from a center that is always with you. You will become a source of strength and serenity for others, simply by being who you are. This is the culmination of the work, unlocking the person you were always meant to be, the person who was waiting for you in the quiet. Your final practice is not a task, but an intention. Set the intention tomorrow morning to carry your stillness with you from your first breath to your last, to see every moment of the day as an opportunity to be, not just practice, your calmest, strongest self. Stillness is not emptiness or inaction. It is the source of all focused power, the foundation of all emotional clarity, and the training ground for an unbreakable spirit. It is the key that unlocks your truest, strongest, and best self. Thank you for dedicating your time to this deep exploration of stillness. Your commitment to this path is a powerful act in a world that desperately needs more quiet strength. If this video has provided you with value, please like, comment with what stillness means to you, and subscribe to Stoic Dominion, where we will continue to unlock the ancient wisdom for a modern life of peace and power.